Hey guys, I just wanted to go over a brief synopsis of what it took for me to get the Guardian Druid Mage Tower down. I'm just going to go over everything really briefly because there's better guides out there, but I just wanted to offer another perspective. Everything was insanely scalped on our server, and so I didn't end up buying too much of anything. I found old Nyalotha gear that had sockets in it, and even the gems were scalped, so I bought what I could. Obviously, you want to choose Agi gems over anything if you have the choice, but I just threw in some old sockets here and there. You can see old rings. This is one of the biggest things, I took Cyclotronic Blast. While the stats weren't the best thing in the world, Cyclotronic Blast was a huge part of my damage. And I would highly recommend this because you can use it at the beginning of the fight and at the end on Cruel. This one, it's the only other like somewhat main stat trinket I had for it. I think there's better options out there. However, if you look how much healing that did for me in there, it actually did quite a bit, and I was very squishy, and it allowed me to be in boomkin form a little bit more. Here's an old weapon. Force multiplier was the biggest thing. It's very expensive right now, but I had a weapon with it on it. It actually did quite a bit. This is just other random gear I had. I used the old legendary neck and cloak. I didn't enchant the chest, which I probably should have, but I put Stam and Leech on this guy, and the rest is just, whatever gear I had sitting around. The talent setup I ran, the only thing I would say or advise, although you can do plenty with like Mighty Batch or anything like that, the only thing I would even consider changing would be Survival of the Fittest to Earth Warden. They're both pretty good, but this is the setup I would run. It allows you to get instant star surges and do a lot of damage at the beginning of the fight with Hard Wild. I weave a lot in and out of Moonkin form. I don't usually go into the puddles if I can help it. The only other major note is, aside from, have your drums, have your flasks and stuff, I used regular food and flasks because it was just insanely scalped on our server. But the thing I absolutely could not have done it without is Potion of Unbridled Fury. I had like 40, 50 of these laying around, so when I went back to try everything again today, I had these to test them out, and boy, did they do a lot of damage. It's 20k on Cruel just from one use. And you won't get two uses, you only get one, but yeah, this is insanely strong in this challenge, and it helps make up for the tuning of everything. So yeah, I'll get on with the video now. Thanks. Okay, so here's the Mage Tower. You can see I've been going in and out quite a bit. I usually use the RP time at the beginning of the fight just to eat, to save time, and to get my food buff. And I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, talking about my frustrations, as you do. But as you can see, I'm sitting in Boomkin form at the beginning of the fight, and I'm going to regrowth myself to help deal with a hot deal a little bit with Mind Rins. Double Wrath into just your normal rotation as Boomkin. I'm going to have Heart of the Wild and Berserking as well. And my main goal, I'll pop one Moonfire on the eye there, is to get as much damage early on as I can. I'm going to use Typhoon to drain life here. And so a key thing is regrowth a lot of the time, most of the time, will draw the ad's attention off of Velen. You see, it didn't there. It's not always perfect success rate, but I will always regrowth once they start moving. And it usually draws their attention no matter where you are in the room. So if you're really far away dealing with an eyeball or something, that's what you can do. And my hotkeys were definitely not muscle memory, so I am hard clicking the shit out of my my forms. But as you can see there, I did not have Typhoon up, so I had to swap Bear form and use my charge. But this is another downtime between the ad phases where I can get my dots up and do some damage to Varus. Same thing here. I'm going to use my in-cap roar at the very last second, and I see him casting Drain Life, so I'm like, shit, I need to use an orb. It'll help me deal with the ads as well, and it'll give me another window in which I can deal damage to Varus. So I'm going to get all my dots up, deal with the eyes first, so they're taking down. Get into my form. So I see this Infernal coming. I know I kind of want him to phase. I never want more than 2 Infernals. I'm going to get closer to Typhoon here. I'm going to regrowth and see, boom, add aggro. I didn't even have any dots at him. So I always recommend that. I think it's a timing. It's after they start running, but before they get to Velen is what it seems like. I use my MCAP Roar again right as they started casting, and it's a really tight timer, so I usually wait until they have started, not just channeled it. So I have to charge here, and I'm going to use Wild Charge to get out. And so right now I'm thinking, okay, I have my 2 ad spawns, my 2 infernal spawns. I have another ad wave coming. I want to kill this ad wave, and as they're dying, I want to phase, because then it lets me have a window where I can deal with Cruel. I'm going to use one more orb that I marked that was despawning, because it's a 2-minute 2-minute timer that you have. I used Incap Roar here, and now, okay, everyone's dead. I'm going to start spamming Moonfire, because I should have gone in Boomkin form here a little bit early, but, you know, I'm spamming Moonfire. I'm going to get in Boomkin form and run away, take this time to deal with get some free damage onto Cruel. I'm going to have to get in Boomkin form. I'm doing one more Sunfire here, just because I can't cast that from my bear form. And so he annihilates here. I have this little weak aura that I found. I just typed in Twisted Annihilate weak aura. I use my Cyclotronic Blast. And so now we have ads coming in. They're not going to come to me, so I'm going to use a little Moonfire dot here and hopefully get it. Didn't work. So I'm getting ready to use Incap Roar to interrupt, and now an orb. So I know I wanted the Annihilate there. I have full Fury or full Rage, whatever you want to call it. Get my Wild Charge back in. So I can tank this Annihilate as comfortably as you can. I did make a mistake there. I used Skull Bash. He should cast Focus Annihilation right now, so I'm panicking, thinking, okay, I'm going to have to Typhoon it. And I'll field goal the Typhoon. And luckily, he didn't cast it. So now he's getting ready for a second Annihilate. There's ad spawns. I need to start dealing with him. I'm going to use this orb right here. Incap Roar, orb. And now getting out to bait puddles even farther out. And so this is kind of the flow of things. Annihilate, I'm using 1 Survival Instincts here. I try and save it. Both Survival Instincts for 3 and 4 because you will need it. Okay, he's interrupt the cast as normal. And so now I'm like, okay, he's at 3,000 health or 6,000 health. I have one more orb. I'm going to rush it. I'm not even going to pretend like I can try and tank that. I'm going to use that last orb, and I'm going to rush his health down and try and beat the timer. I use Survival Instincts just to stay alive a little bit. It falls off right as he casts it, but he dies at the same time. So that's how I did it. I know there's plenty of other people that do it different ways. I just wanted to offer a little bit more perspective. So feel free, I hope this helped. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Obviously, you don't need all the gear in the world, but even that timer is really tight, and this was a really good ad lineup going into Phase 2. I hope that helped, and I wish you a lot of luck getting this appearance. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do right now, but it is certainly doable. Feel free to message me if you have any questions, and good luck.